Daisy, because and of course, what do I say, salute to Dr. Pramod Mahajan, who's always being on the forefront of putting his thoughts forward very vociferously. I think in my very short tenure with him at the Gulf, I've seen him communicate effectively what he wants to say. And as Salma said just now, it's all about learning, trying to take those and then get forward. So just for my friends who are out there, it was very too abrupt an end to an UAE chapter because my mother wanted me. And so when the cause is noble, everything becomes God sent then. And I found myself an assignment in Coimbatore, India, very close to my hometown, where I have for the last 3-4 months been working for the establishment of a new school as the chief education officer. Why I'm saying of this is we've been as an educator for the last 38 years. I felt that life is all about learning, and the exact impact of what education was 38 years before to now. I think the journey in itself is one big chapter where leaps we can take. Now, from this, why I'm saying this is now, as we all have been, talking about, and there is a very important part of that of a leader, because I think as a leader, it is very important to ensure that students are intrinsically motivated, right, to successfully address this intellectual rigor. So for all of this, we find that the challenges are mainly not in a particular curriculum or syllabus or anything like that. All of us, I mean, we have the infrastructure, we have the resources, but somewhere there is still a gap in making, connecting those dots and giving children that chance to explore themselves, right? I think the word researcher will define what Daisy wanted to say, what Pramodji wanted to say. We have to now work out on ensuring that children are risk takers. Now, how do you get this discovery or curiosity, whatever we call outdoor learning, indoor learning? Everything can happen only when the resources are available. So having that in mind, when we took over this project also at the Chandramari International School at Coimbatore, we decided that collaboration should happen for ensuring the spaces are meaningful. So when we say about spaces, so for example, for a 20 classroom, we have 13 laboratories. Why laboratories? Because as my colleagues were saying, learning inside a classroom is almost gone. I mean, children do a lot of learning outside classrooms. So why should we have them stuck inside a classroom? Why can't we break this into credit hours and contact hours, like what we used to hear at the university level? And we, in the last few months, I've researched more than 80 to 90 pedagogies that, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. As we are all speaking, I'm sure we all are doing greatly in things that we think are good and fit for the children. But somewhere there is a gap in actually making it happen. There are a lot of constraints. So given the constraints that we have, we decided that the infrastructural space must be redesigned, or in my case, it has to be designed. The most important thing is the experiential studio. And now we have a tech-enabled campus. Now, what is this tech-enabled campus? Not to say that we have a hi-fi, technology use, not at all. Whatever the children, see, they spend about 7 to 8 hours. I'm looking at an Indian context. So in that during that time, when the children are inside or outside, they must be continuously learning. So when we decided that 50% of our campus should become experiential laboratories, where credit hours can be marked to ensure that these are assessed, evaluated, and added to their formative, summative, whatever it is. Why I'm saying this is when you have a chance. Now, please don't get me wrong. Yes, I was with a school in Ajman fantastically trying to do the best. But given the constraints, when you have some godsend, something like this, where you can help in the planning, then all of what my colleagues, I'm sure, whom I have heard and who are going to talk, will all, consent and agree that these experiential studios should then be given more weight. Learning, conceptual understanding, reinforcement, recapitulation, or for that matter, discovering what something or those eureka moments must be experienced in a student life. So for this, if we can have a curriculum where we plug in, so for example, you draw up a neat curriculum, and then again, thanks to the nation with its new revised policy, we have also incorporated the NCF 22. So by large, it covers a whole gamut of activities. Implementation of this is always a challenge for us. So how do you ensure this implementation? Is when you have the framework that is built by adding on what I was telling you is in a school context, incorporate or integrate nature and technology and ensure that children are experiencing those eureka moments, then you actually can actualize their potential. You can maximize the self-esteem. You give them through collaboration, which is the key word, their critical thinking, which was once a very huge jargon, will happen by natural. While we are talking about the academic content, the humane content and the social content should also be incorporated. So when you have short, cute 5 steps, 6 steps between classroom turning into an amphitheater, look at the joy at which education can then become. So we do understand that virtual learning, overdose of screen time, everything has happened, but we cannot get disconnected from that. So we need to, yes, flip the classrooms, number one. And when we flip a classroom, we ensure the classroom then becomes a studio. Now, in this classroom also, we can get whatever we have, plus we can also develop empathy. Now, this is, there are sometimes you find schools or classrooms which have multicultural differences. How do you get children to face the future? When you say you are future ready, when you say ours is a futuristic school, then you need to ensure that the curriculum you're offering must be assessed, taking into consideration that we are looking at an international context of assessment. When we have a proper curriculum designed and assessment protocols laid down, I am sure anything and everything is possible. So my appeal and, to, what do I say, the future of our children is, just as many of my colleagues said, is not and should not be restricted to classrooms alone. The most important thing is, how does this learning, and which is so simple, you have, when we talk about outdoor learning, it is nothing. You have some playway material, you have some, of course, the context is different, but whatever you have outside, if you can connect that to, and the real curriculum, what I'm saying is, we have certain standards that we have to follow. We have protocols that we have to design to ensure that no child is not having a proper exposure. So there is a board there, but especially in my case now, having the little ones up to grade 7, I think we can really go out in ensuring that children not only take memories of their classroom, but are able to see the whole school as meaningful learning spaces. So even between the classrooms, we are trying to put 2-3 tropical greens, barcode them, and tell a science teacher, bring your child outside the classroom. I mean, let them feel and experience. There is nothing like learning something in isolation anymore. It's all one big concentrated whole. And for the child to come out of his shell or to ask himself why, he needs a laboratory. And you don't need a lot of money on that. All you need is to have learning outcomes defined, make a checklist of all the what do I say, the learning outcomes in its form, the three forms of the layers, the slow learners, or the high achievers, or the average students, and then have some meaningful demonstration done and cross verification of that learning. We are not measuring the impact as much as we should. We're taking it to some form of assessment. Instead of that, the laboratories using your own people. Why can't a social studies teacher who has a passion for assembling and dismantling, some electronic gadgets, be put in a lab? I mean, he can have some children. Now, these are things I hope that I will be able to give you evidences of all of these learning in the coming days, because the whole concept of education, and when we talk about navigating the future, as we all agree, we are totally blank. We don't know what are the jobs. We don't know what are the skills that we require, but we know something, that ultimately a child should have just not academic content, but should also be very well in how to handle the social content and also become a humane person. At the end of the day, if his feet is on the ground, we have made life simply beautiful for our kids. This is my opening thought, and we'll take it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prema. And like you rightly said, experiential learning, it's one of the main keys for students to be able to conquer the world, and it's very important.
Thank you so much. And I would like to add one thing in this. Ms. Salma Nasir is a product of Universal Business School, Karzat, Mumbai. She's basically from Egypt, and now she's heading the international relations, and she works from Dubai. And I think she will be meeting all of you in Sharjah, Dubai, Saudi, or Qatar, wherever you are in Gulf. I'm taking a liberty of inviting all of you. There is a standing invitation for lunch or dinner with us at Universal Business School, and you can see the campus and meet the students also. Over to you, Salma.
Yes, so actually I met a few principals who attended today. I went to their schools, and I'll be in contact with the rest of the principals as well, in case they need any support with the student for career, like career counseling, or any activities that help with any activities to do with the students, or give presentations of career counseling or guidance to the students. And for sure, I'll be glad to meet you all at the Universal Business School campus as well. Yeah, Tarun, would you like to add anything?
We are a bunch of professionals who are trying to, learn from what we've learned in the corporate world and bring it together. And, grateful to hear the new ideas from all the panelists. It was, I was actually furiously taking notes. It's beautiful, how we're going to see the ground up from, the schools where you produce the kids, and how we, like a tag team on a racing track, we take the patent from you and then try and take them to the next level of competence and development. So I think this is a great opportunity of symbiotic understanding what you guys are really doing. So I'm very happy that we used to always say
Thank
that
you.
at the school level, these guys need to produce better students, so we'll have better talent to work with on a higher, and vice versa. Many times I used to see education professionals in the higher ed saying, the schools aren't doing enough, and I can see if these are the guys who are running schools, we are in great hands. So the schools are doing their part. Many times school guys would say, the colleges, there's no soul there. It's just like a factory. So we are making our attempt to change a little bit of that. So I think we're looking forward to working with you, learning from each other. And thank you once again for this opportunity.
Mr. Pranav?
Thank you so much. We are grateful to have such a talented and experienced group of panelists here with us today. And I'm confident that their insights and guidance will be invaluable to us all and to the whole educational fraternity. I would like to thank Ms. Salma Nasir. I think she did the organization in very meticulous way. Thank you so much, Salma. And on top of everything, I think the leadership, Mr. Tarun Anand. I've been to the campus. roughly 12 years, 10 years back, and I was impressed. I'm sure it must be changed now. Tarun sir, I'll come again and see you. Fine, sir. Thank you so much.
Look forward. Thank you. Thank
Welcome.
you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Now you should visit that campus. It is completely transformed.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now the campus is a teenager.
Yes.
We are students from Maxwell School, Dwarka, New Delhi, India. Keep watching EDU TV.
I am Harshini Sudarshan. I am a grade 12 student studying at Delhi Public School, Bangalore East. For those of you who are watching, at EDU TV, we are having a program where we conduct talks and interviews between students and university outreach heads in order to find out more about the colleges that we want to join in and what these colleges and universities are offering to us.
I would like to ask you this, that like as Sham sir said that it was just the beginning of CS at this time. So how have you come into CS, or like what made you think that you should pursue CS at that point of time?
Okay, so I think I came into computer science accidentally because in 1994, when I wanted to, pursue my engineering, so I had a very good rank. In those days, the number one branch was not computer science, it was electronics.
EDU TV is also having a taster program, and some of you may know what it is. It is just to get a taste of college life.
Good morning, I am Chaya Khanna, Principal Scholars Home School. I would like to express my gratitude to Pranav for giving this opportunity to our class 12 students to visit Graphic Era. I'm sure our children will know of the many avenues that they are not aware of.
My name is Veda Gopala and I'm from Scholars Home, and I thought it was quite an enriching experience. I really like the campus and the workshop facilities.
So students are taken on a visit to the university or the college premises to get a taste of what is actually college life in those 3 or 4 crucial college years of your life. So you get to know about placements, job opportunities, careers of the future, what that college or the university has to offer to you, how campus life is in general.